at 16. Rounding is one of those things. Rounding is one of those things that creates error. So the reason I'm truncating it off and calling it this is because the data that we got is only accurate to the nearest whole number. So really, honestly, our discussion should be about the nearest whole number values too. Okay. Does that believable? Make sense? Fair? Yes? There's all kinds of problems with triple and quadruple rounding.
What's n?
What is n?
Number of data sets.
Number of data points you got in your data set, exactly. So we put 35 in there. That's what it's telling you, it equals 35.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yep, it just tells. Now it's kind of inane for raw data. It comes in real handy for group data. Because for group data, it's not always obvious how many data points you actually have in your data set. We'll get to that with the Portland Marathon here in a second. Yes, Rach, go ahead.
Sorry, when you put in the raw data.
Yes, ma'am.
And put it all in order.
Uh-huh.
Then we hit the stat button and then go to calc.
Calc.
And then what?
1 bar stats. 1 bar stats gets the job done for you. No?
Well, I hit that.
And then press enter again.
And then press enter again. Argument error.
Well, that's straight. Oh, I think I know why. Do you have a bunch of 1 bar stats in line together? Oh, you've got, that's right, you got the 89. I forget about this. No, it's not funky, it's a little bit different. So you got to tell it where your data is.
Okay.
So I'm assuming yours is in list 1. So what you want to do, I think it's down here, var link, list 1. There we go. And everything else is going to be this. Here it comes. It's thinking. There it is. So now it should be, list 1 will always be in there now.
Oh, okay.
So every time you run there, you'll have it list 1 with the help. List 1.
Awesome.
Cool.
Thank you.
Good. I forgot you had an 89. Fair enough? Trev, go ahead.
How would you put S into words? Like,
Good.
average is negative.
He read my mind. So, put this into words. We know how to put these 3 into words. Tell me what this means. Tell me what an S or a sample standard deviation of 16 means. That's a great question. Because I want to focus on that today, and I also want to focus on this up here today. I want to focus on those 2 things today. Not that I want to ignore medians and modes, but S is based off of X bar. Go ahead, Jen.
Well, you said the other day to think of it as the average distance from the data point is from the average.
Yes, that's exactly what it means. On average, all 35 of these data points are 16 pounds average away from that negative 15. So in other words, if you look at all the distances that each one is from negative 15, and you average those distances, it comes out to be roughly 16 pounds. So the negative 58, the 0, the positive 6, the negative 16, the positive 1, all those distances, average them, roughly 16 pounds. So it gives you the idea of variability. Data sets that are far spread out have smaller versions of this because they're closer to the average. So their average sum total of their averages is going to be, or their average distance is going to be smaller. Is that?
It's getting there.
It's getting good. It's getting there. And I think today's discussion is going to make it help it get there even more.
So that's what we're talking about range, right?
Say that again.
The range?
The range would be the high to the low by formal definition. So it would be the 21 to the negative 58, whatever that is. 79 pounds range. The range is a little bit misleading, or can be, because it doesn't tell you about the interior points, where they're distributed. That's what I'm going to focus on today. I want to focus on Trevor's question about what else we can tell about this. So the next, oh, Addie, go ahead.
I was going to say, so the S is how far that value is from the average.
How far on average the data points are from average. See, that's, remember, when you said, and you said it, Jen, you said it correctly. You said mean instead of average, which is the same thing. So you have to use the word average twice when you define it. On average, how far are the data points away from their average? So you have to use average twice. I mean, it's just one of those facts of the way we've created this measure.
And what's that called?
The sample standard deviation. The sample standard deviation. This guy up here is the population standard deviation. You can ignore him for right now. He's not important for right now. He'll become important later. Ooh, as I'm pointing to that, can you see that on the camera? Ish. Is that okay? Ish? Yeah, ish. And I think Trevor had the right, we're getting there. Yeah, it's starting to get there. These measures of center make almost immediate sense, probably because you've been dealing with them all your lives. This is a new idea. This takes the most kind of getting used to it. I think after today you're going to have you'll learn more about it as you go through the course. And those of you taking 244 will have even more of an opportunity to explore even further, because it has a whole other extension of meaning in 244. I mean, it's the same meaning, but it gets refined down. What I want to do now is I want to see if we can answer Trevor's question even better, which is there anything else we can get from that? So what I want to do now is I want to make a histogram of this data and see what shape the data is. Let's make the histogram first. See what shape, then we'll take our 5 because we're getting close to that break. But I think it feels like you guys are still kind of motivated to keep 5 more minutes in, except for Jordan, who's falling asleep over there. All right, so check out these steps. This is also why I'm excited about having the YouTube videos. So if you ever need these steps again, they're going to be right here in the video for you. We're going to make a histogram using the TI. The TI is a great source of being able to do this. Here are the button pushes, friends. Okay? Press the second button. And then press the Y equals button. Do you see right above Y equals it says stat plots? Yep. So second Y equals will fire up and you should look like this now. The screen should look something like this now. Stat plots. You have the ability to turn up to 3 plots on at a time, which was great in 1984 when these things came out. It's kind of embarrassing now, but that's okay. We'll only have about 2 on at a time any given time. Right now, just 1. Right now, just 1. Okay. So we're going to go for plot number 1. So either press 1 or press enter, your choice. Now you got to kind of set up this screen right here. Set up this screen. So first, turn it on by pressing enter. So it shifts over to on. Cool. As far as type, there are 6 different types of charts. This is actually pretty slick, and this is still cool even 30 years later. This is pretty rad. You want to go to the histogram, which is this guy right there. It's that guy right there. Little picture of the histogram. Everything else is cool, and we'll do some more of these in this class too, but right now it's just a histogram. X list is where your data is. Mine says L1. Does your guys say L1? If they don't, and sometimes you have to change it, all you got to do is call L1 like you called it before, second 1. So if you press second and then 1, you'll get L1 again. So you make the L1 list the same way, except for on the 89, in which case you have to call L1, and we can do this at break. Right, to get you squared with this thing. See that freak, F-R-E-Q? What does that mean? It means frequency, and it means how many times should I count the data in L1. Did your guys say 1?
Yeah.
If it says 1, leave it at 1, because that's what raw data is. Raw data will always have a frequency of 1, because it means count every data point 1 time. Does anybody have an L2 or something in there? If you've got an L2, just press 1, but the catch is there's a bug in the TI bug. See how it's blinking A? Turn the alpha mode off, and then press 1. Yeah. Now, let's everybody, at this point, we'll take 5 right here. If anybody's having trouble getting these graphs, well, I'll move around and work with you guys. The easiest way to get this thing to show up is just to press the zoom button. Zoom number 9. Number 9 is called zoom stat. Zoom 9, and we should be seeing something along these lines. If you're not, let's take 5, let me wander, let me fix problems, then we're going to come back and we're going to finagle that graph a little bit, because we can have some fun with it. And then we're going to analyze the statistics on the graph. And I'm going to turn this off and stop yelling.